Welcome to part 4 of our series on the estrangement epidemic. In our last video, we talked about the apology communication gap. Today, we're looking at a piece of the puzzle that I believe often goes completely unnoticed, the invisible barrier, if you will. We're going to explore how undiagnosed neurodivergence, specifically ADHD and autism in parents, might be a big missing link in the communication gaps that seem to be fueling this epidemic. Now, we need to remember that for the older generations, like Gen X, boomers, and older, there were no manuals for these types of brains. Many parents have spent their entire lives struggling with executive dysfunction, sensory overload, or social processing issues without ever having a name for it. That doesn't make them narcissists or manipulators. They're just people who have been navigating life with overloaded systems, executive dysfunction, emotional intensity, and our difficulty reading social cues, doing the best they could with no knowledge for how their brain actually works. This creates a profound mismatch in how we communicate. A neurodivergent parent might be very blunt or literal, which an adult child armed with modern therapy language might interpret as lacking empathy or being emotionally unavailable. A parent with undiagnosed ADHD might struggle with consistency or staying in the moment, which can feel like neglect to a child who doesn't know that their parent's brain is simply just processing everything differently. In addition, when an apology is given, especially one that took courage or deep emotional effort, and then gets minimized, dismissed, or rejected, many neurodivergent brains experience something called rejection sensitivity dysphoria. And to the neurodivergent parent, it doesn't just sting. It can feel like being emotionally stabbed. Confusion, shame, and deep pain all rush in at once. To the adult child, the parent's visible hurt or defensiveness might look like gaslighting or refusing to take responsibility, when in reality, the parent may be emotionally short-circuiting from the rejection. Here is the tragedy. We end up in a lose-lose situation because we don't have a manual for this, and we tend to label what we don't understand as toxic. The parent is struggling with a brain they don't understand, and the adult child is using therapy scripts to label that struggle as a character flaw. It's often called manipulation when it might just be a hardware issue. Real connection requires us to leave room for the other person to be human, and that includes their neurobiology. If we can shift from looking for someone to blame to looking for what's been misunderstood, we might actually find a path back to each other. Next time, we're going to look at how the demand for perfection has crept into our modern relationships and what that means for families trying to find their way back to each other. That's all for now, and until next time, blessed be.